Good evening, everybody. Adam Green here with No More News. It is Thursday, October 24th, 2024. 2424. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Got a huge guest, guy I've been wanting to talk to for quite a while. He's a very talented animator and cartoonist. Many of you have probably heard of him before. He is green-pilled, to say the least. It's great to have him here in chat. He's got some new work that he's got coming out, some cartoons and comic books and all that type of stuff. Welcome, everybody, Sven Stoffels. What's up, Sven?
What's up, everybody? What's up, Adam? Glad to be here, man. Yeah, finally we get to talk face to face, huh?
Yep.
What's up,
So
guys?
I'm guilty of you reaching out to me maybe a year or two ago now and saying you wanted to collab on an animation to talk about the Jesus deception, the Abrahamic paradigm, and I left you hanging.
Jewish psyop.
Yeah, the Jewish psyops.
Yeah.
Exactly. But
Yeah, I think I was stranded at an airport once at one time, like 2 years ago. And yeah, you reached out to me at that point, which was really nice. And I think that's the first time we sort of discussed that idea of kind of like making like a little animation or some kind of a thing that has to do with the green pill people a little bit. Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff going. I talked about this before. It's like you almost, I mean, not even almost, you got to be like a theologian level expert to kind of get a grasp of all these concepts and different schemes and layers that are going on. So I think it would be really beneficial to have like an entertaining little documentary or something like that. Something
I agree,
animated.
like a mini 5-minute cartoon with the most important points. I kind of made something like that today, and
I saw that.
I posted it, and it barely even didn't even get 100 likes. So apparently, everybody's like, "Oh yeah, we want an animation. We want it to be, simple, something people could share." But this one, I kind of just threw together as practice in a way. I'm sure the one I would do with you would be a lot better, a lot more effort into it. But we can play that at some point today. We're going to play some of your stuff as well. But
yes. Speaking of animation, I saw somebody did like a parody of yours.
Yeah. Owen Benjamin. Yeah, speaking of animations, I got cartoonized for the first time today.
Yeah.
I got animated for the first time ever.
How are you feeling?
It feels pretty cool, honestly. I don't really like the way they have me looking. I don't feel like it's
they
very
kind of make
accurate.
you sound. Look, usually when you do like satire, it's kind of cheap to make your opponent sound like a retard and go, it's kind of not really the most sophisticated way of doing satire, but the animation looks really good.
It did look good. And
the quality of animation is pretty good.
Right. And oh shoot, well, let's see where I'm trying to put this up on screen right now, and it's not where it is. I think this is it.
Yeah, we're figuring out StreamYards today.
Yeah, StreamYard. I don't normally do StreamYard, but here it is. Owen Benjamin was on the show last week and to promote his special, and I asked him about Flat Earth, and he did a couple rants the next few days on his stream about me and my buddy Big Tech. And I could play this right now since you mentioned it. It's pretty funny.
Yeah,
he's got me as a... This is supposedly me and Big Tech in the locker room, it looks like, of Planet Fitness. Ready?
But that means he's trying to hide my thing about the Jews and the Christians destroying Edom with false prophecy. But that means...
At least he's got the important part down.
Yeah.
Edom. And you mentioned Edom. I saw you on Pod Awful the other day, and you guys, I shared the clip. I was like, it's refreshing to see some guys that get it. You're just like, it's fake and Jewish, and you got to be retarded to believe it. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Edom and Esau. That's what I'm talking about. I'm like a visual thinker. I remember things by visual, so that's why I need it to be spelled out, to almost like a comic strip or a cartoon, something like that. And then I think it'll really drop into people's awareness better, I think. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been listening to you for a couple of years now. I would always tune in, and it's complex. Let's just say, let's put it like that, right? Maybe not for you anymore, but
yeah, it could get it. And that's the thing too, is like, I've been studying it for so many years that like I'll think of things or explain things and it goes over most people's heads. Like it can get really deep, but I can also simplify it like a whole lot too. To basically simplify it to it's a Jewish myth meant to theologically conquer the world. That's
that's
and it's
the
fake
the
prophecy
pitch.
fulfillment.
That's the log line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Owen just nailed it there. He said it's a prophecy fulfillment to destroy Edom and Esau. And that part, just Edom and Esau is code for the Roman Empire or Christianity,
and then by
or
proxy,
Western civilization.
America and Europe at this point in time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, I'm getting it. And I see it too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But it is
makes
true.
sense.
It does. You can get really deep into the weeds and the details, and you do have to be sort of a theologian to fully grasp like every element.
I was
of it.
listening.
That
You
is
guys
true.
did a really good stream with Uber Boyo and Gnostic Informant. That was a really good one that went a little bit more in depth with all this stuff. And yeah, that was really mind blowing. But then again, it's such an information overload. You know what I'm saying? For a lot of normies when it comes to this subject. So you kind of need to spoon feed them the green pill in portions.
Right. Yeah. So you know what? A few years ago, I saw you on Red Bar, who's like a famous podcaster, YouTube Jewish guy. Yeah. So and you were on there, and I think you were talking about like religion being a psyop, and you know, a Jewish theological takeover plan. You remember that one?
I have mentioned that a couple of times on that show. Yeah, much to his chagrin. That's a part of our falling out. So don't want to get into that whole thing again. But yeah. Admittedly, I got a little tipsy on the show, and I kind of just starting to talk. I went off on a JQ a little hard, probably. But yeah, that wasn't too much appreciated. So, and that was part of the falling out, definitely there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
but yeah,
wow.
I've talked about that a couple of times on that program.
Yeah. Well,
And I think that program has gotten increasingly more liberal and pro-trans and all this stuff. It's more like it's becoming more of a Bill Maher type of thing nowadays. I feel.
I've never watched it. I know who he is, like just barely. I know he's had drama with like Sam Tripoli, and I saw you on there that one time. And also a few years ago, he played a clip of me with Christopher Bolin talking about 9/11, and that was the first time I ever heard of him.
And what was the response? Like what was the context?
We were talking about a Nick Kroll Netflix show talking about 9/11 truth, and then we talked about how Nick Kroll's family is involved with Kroll and Associates that was involved with the security at the World Trade Center. And he was kind of like, I guess he was trying to make fun of us. I vaguely remember it. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but it wasn't that. I wasn't like, oh, he's attacking me or like stress or anything. I was just like, oh, some big YouTuber was talking about me. That's cool.
Yeah. All right. I guess he wasn't too critical then, I guess.
No, he wasn't. So were you ever Christian? Were you raised Christian or anything? Like, where are you from? Sven, I imagine like you're a Viking, bro. Where are you from? Norway or something? Sweden?
No, I'm from the Netherlands, actually.
Okay.
Born and raised in the Netherlands. Northern Europe. I'm in the south of. Right now, I live in Southeast Asia. I've been living here for a couple of months on the island of Bali. But grown up in the Netherlands, in the south of the Netherlands, very Catholic. And when I say very Catholic, nowadays people, they go to church with Christmas, maybe, but not even really that anymore that much. Now, I do sort of think there's like a vacuum left there because people, they're just like, a sense of community that gets lost and stuff like that. I do think, but there's a lot of different cultural events and ritual and stuff like that still there that has nothing to do with Christianity, obviously. But yeah, Catholic, but not really practicing, and never really went to church.
Never. You were raised Catholic. Your family was Catholic, but you never really believed it.
It was just like in the periphery. Maybe it was not really a huge thing at all in my family. No.
Easter and Christmas Catholic.
Just not even Easter. We skipped. We did Christmas, and then we maybe went to church, but that was about it. Yeah,
Christmas
and
mass.
I hated going to church.
That's about it. That's about like your average Catholic, pretty much, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and
especially in Europe, it's like collapsing in Europe.
Yeah, it is. Nobody's going to. Most churches where I'm from, I mean, obviously they're beautiful buildings, and they're making them into libraries nowadays, which I think is pretty good to
And
useful.
mosques too. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's turn them into pagan temple / libraries, which the pagan temples actually used to have a lot of books. When
Oh
Alexandria
yeah.
burned down, they moved it to a temple. All the
Oh, I
books.
see. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. There's a lot of beautiful churches that they made into libraries in the city of Maastricht. That's where I'm from. You can look that up.
Hmm.
Really beautiful libraries they made.
Hmm.
Yeah. When they make them into mosques, I'm not sure if I'm big, huge fan of that one.
Yeah, I was saying that facetiously.
Yeah. Or when those the same Muslims burn them down in France.
Right.
You see a lot of those things happening.
So how'd you get into animation, and how long you been doing that?
I mean, basically all my life, you know what I'm saying? Ever since I could hold a pen, I've been drawing little cartoons and stuff like that. And I mean, I think maybe 20 years ago at this point, I started doing it professionally. First, I worked in the studio environments, fucking hated that. And I went solo basically. And yeah, ever since then, I've been making some transgressive internet cartoons that have gotten me into a lot of trouble. Been banned on a lot of platforms. They've taken my Patreon away at some point. They've taken my YouTube channels away, my Instagrams.
Wow.
My big huge cancellation happened when I made that China cartoon during the COVID period. I don't know. Did I send you that one? I think I did.
Yeah, we'll play that one. That's
Yeah,
interesting. I didn't realize you'd been banned. I see that you're still on YouTube, so at least you got
I'm
that.
on.
But they got your
I'm,
Patreon though, huh? Just because
I'm
your
on
cartoons are like too explicit or R-rated or something?
Well, dude, when we should watch that China one, and then maybe have a little bit of context, and I'll tell you exactly what happened because I had the Chinese Communist Party came after me.
Really?
Yeah, they
Wow.
contacted like all my old associates, my family members. They sent letters to the mail. They called up my old bosses and shit like that. And it was like this never-ending cancellation. I got like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of death threats. It was almost never
Good.
ending just because I made this little China Ching Chong cartoon, which is and the context of that was like the Corona just hit, and there was this meme online with like this cute little anime girl called Corona Chan, and she was all pretty and cute, and I just thought I'm gonna make a more accurate version that really represents this virus better.
Mm.
So that was this one, yeah, and that got me in a whole heap of shit. This thing.
Chat says don't mess with China. Well, let's play this then. I haven't seen it. This is the whole thing.
Check it out.
It looks like
Yeah, it's very
17
short.
seconds.
It's meant to be like a hypnotic loop, sort of.
Okay.
Check it out.
And this is what you got banned from Patreon for.
Yes.
Wow. All right.
And
well,
my
let's see.
Instagram, everything got removed back then. I had to rebuild everything from then on.
When I first saw this, I thought it was Marge Simpson. It kind of had the Simpsons look to me a little bit.
Well, you'll see.
Dude. That was it,
Yes,
huh?
they had
That got you banned.
Yeah, look, I grew up in the 90s where gross out humor was just par for the course. That was normal. So that really influenced me, stuff like Ren and Stimpy and shit like that.
That was on Nickelodeon when I was a little kid. Stuff that looked like that. I remember there were shows where it was like that.
I know, but yeah, I got a bunch of Chinese bots after me that were like, they wrote like articles about me. Back then, I was still wearing a Trump hat, and they put like the worst picture of me looking evil on like these Chinese news websites, and there were petitions about canceling me. They sent like pictures. My brother had a newborn child at the time. They made like Photoshop pictures of the baby decapitated that they sent to his front door. It was really,
oh my gosh, man, they
pretty
are
bad.
Hypersensitive. What is with
Yeah.
them?
Yeah, I know. They were like they contacted my boss and they were like, "Oh, did you know this guy's a Nazi?" And my boss is like, "Yeah, I know." I remember back I work in a fucking this is back when you could still make jokes, okay? When I worked in the studio, we'd have like the intercom system. I would play like Hitler speeches on my phone through the company intercom as a gag, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when they went up to my boss, like, "Did you know this guy was like a fucking," he was just like, "Okay, who gives a fuck?" No, I think if you wear your heart on your sleeve, you're not really cancelable. You know what I'm saying? If you're not living some kind of a double life. they can still take everything away, but there's not much of a reputational damage happening if you just don't give a shit.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was because of your cartoons that you got banned, or it was because of like your commentary on podcast or something that they decided to run a cancel mob against you.
No, that was the big one, was that cartoon. Yeah. No. And I mean, listen, that's not the last one that got me into trouble. I got that Eli Klein one. Remember that one? Yeah, this one.
This is the one.
Yeah.
This is the one I've seen before.
Yeah.
So this is who's the guy's name again?
Eli Klein. You have H3H3. I sent you that video too, right? Where he is like complaining about it. You should watch that one too. But yeah, so this is like this is Eli Klein, H3H3's wife. Now, this cartoon was made like 6 years ago, maybe, when those rumors started happening that she was in the IDF. And I just made this satirical, over-the-top version of what that might look like. You know what I'm saying? I visualized this rumor, basically. And then now with the Gaza conflict, like this whole thing popped up again and it got like a new life. And yeah, and
how did it get a new life? Did big influencers play it or something and laugh about it?
Yeah, so you got Josh Moon, shout outs, the guy from Kiwi Farms. He does a stream, Mad at the Internet, and he basically anytime anyone mentions the name Eli Klein, he pulls up this cartoon.
Isn't it Ethan Klein?
Yeah, but this is his wife, Ela.
Oh, okay. And she's Israeli, and she was in the IDF, right?
Yeah, they met at a Holocaust museum in Israel.
I thought it was a birthright trip. Wasn't it a birthright trip?
Yeah, yes, but they were both on a birthright trip, and then they met at the Holocaust Museum.
Wow,
you know, very romantic.
So romantic.
Story is
trauma bonded together.
Yeah, in front of the pile of shoes.
Yeah, there's so many. All right, here we go.
I went to Auschwitz, by the way, one time.
Really?
And yeah, I went there. I made a. I mean, this is ridiculous. I did a whole stream about it. If you go to my website, svenstreams.com, type in Auschwitz, you can see my whole stream where I went to Auschwitz and I found the pool. I snuck away from the tour and I took a selfie next to the pool.
It's still there.
It's still there. It's empty, though.
Was there a diving board?
There was a diving board, like an Olympic diving board.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Isn't that odd?
Yeah. Gazan kids. Nice blue eyes.
He does have those blue eyes.
This actually looks like her. Owen's one of me doesn't even look like me. In fact, this might even make her look good.
Well, I thought so too. But if you pull up that Ethan Klein video, he says this is a Nazi Jewish propaganda piece, and I was like,
yeah.
He
wants peak sympathy, so of course he's going to say that.
Yeah, you got to pull the Nazi card. This was made by literal Nazis. Yeah. I don't know. Do you have the?
So if you laugh at that, you're a Nazi, or if you share it, you're a Nazi too.
Yeah.
So this just like wrecked their lives, huh? This really had a deep impact.
I don't know. Can we watch that video that I sent you? Can we watch it? Because it's really funny. Because apparently what happened was he left Twitter because of that cartoon, which you can see in that little video. And yeah, he never came back. So I was the one who bullied Ethan Klein off Twitter. And you're welcome, everybody.
and he says that's why.
That's being really in that video. He's like, I can't do this anymore. He's like twitching. He's like literally, having a seizure about it.
Okay, I'm looking for it right now.
Yeah, that one was just a video I dropped in the chat, so it might be a little bit more difficult to pull up.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's why. I'm getting it though. Hold on, here we go.
All right, good.
Share screen. Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is
it popped up all my shit.
Oh my Christ.
You're gonna have to post it online. I did it and it popped out. It won't let me watch it full screen.
I'll just recap what happens. He's twitching, he's crying, and here's the thing he says. He's like, what upset him the most about it is that the left wing and the right wing clapped hands together to hate on Israel. So we had to shut it down. And he pulled some strings at YouTube and stuff like that, and then he did like a little targeted harassment cancellation attack on my channels to get this thing removed. But yeah, isn't it funny? So you have an art piece, which it is undeniably. And even YouTube said this initially when he asked the YouTube execs, take this cartoon down, shut it down. They went, no, we can't do that. This is valuable artistic expression was the exact phrase they used. And yeah, it united some aspects of the left and the right, which is very rare for a piece of art to do that, by the way. You know what I'm saying? So instead of being divisive, it united. And of course, you can't have that happen. And yeah, so they decided this could no longer stay. And they took it down. I bet there's some re-uploads everywhere, of course. But no, it's not allowed on my channel. Usually this happens. I upload a viral cartoon. They take it down. And then they re-uploaded it to TikTok. I made like this a funny N-word cartoon a couple of years ago. This went viral on TikTok a couple of weeks ago. Got like 17 million views on TikTok.
Really? I want to watch that one.
Okay, it's like, well, what is it called? Like a nigger cartoon? I forget. It's like a big
TikTok. You want me to search that on TikTok?
Maybe somebody in the chat. I can't watch the live stream right now. I can't see the chat, but maybe somebody can post that one in the chat. People know what that one is. It's like a Legion of Skanks, animated Legion of Skanks cartoon. It's about like two black guys going to a whitewash store, and one of them turns white.
Why is it Legion of Skanks? Isn't that like Ari Shaffir?
Ari Shaffir is on Legion of Skanks a lot, but I work with Louis J. Gomez, one of the owners of Skankfest and Legion of Skanks, and I do the artwork for the comedy festival, Legion of Skanks. I do like the posters and stuff for that. I have been doing it for the past 5 years.
And what is this one? This is your new series, and you got a Kickstarter?
Yeah. So what I'm doing right now is, of course, I usually do animation and stuff like that. But right now I am doing a comic book series. It's called Butch Gilligan. The first comic book has already been successfully released. I got the copies right here, as you can see. This is my first book to the two different cover editions of it. And yeah, basically it's a mega-based comic book because comic books nowadays, they've gone mega gay. They made the Superman a black queer guy. I think Batman committed suicide because he was depressed. The Hulk is Chinese. So, yeah, the comic book industry not in a great state. So I thought I'd take it upon myself to make some cool shit. So Butch Gilligan is he's like a hard-boiled 80s style detective who, after the shenanigans that happened in the first book, wakes up in this dystopian future. And it's like a degenerated, completely psychopath city. We got like it's covered in a dome that's projecting ads 24/7. And basically, I tried to predict where our future would go in a satirical way if we kept on the track that we're at right now. And Butch Gilligan is basically the last white man alive in this crazy gay-paused future. You know what I'm saying?
Reminds me of like Buzz Lightyear, the name Butch Killigan. You can't have like a manlier white guy.
Yeah, people say it's Duke Nukem, stuff like that, and that's it's like a male power fantasy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but yeah, it's a really good story. People should check it out. The campaign is live still. Butch Gilligan 2. It is one of the videos where I depict one of the future citizens of Ultra City. It's the city that he wakes up in.
You hope to make this like a series or a cartoon or a Netflix show or something?
I mean, look, that's all down the pipeline. But first of all, I got to finish this book series, of course. So, yeah, we can watch this. I made these little character introduction videos just to show what this is all about. So you can watch this one.
All right, here we go in the Euro Adidas stripe.
Hell yeah. I own like 5 of these in all different colors.
Of course.
Meet the Ultra City Citizen. Ultra City citizens are sedentary, morbidly obese consumers with brittle bones, moving only when necessary. They wear exoskeleton legs to help them stand and walk for when they have to stand in line during Ultra Corp's hypest new gadget launch, or for things like medical checkups. Otherwise, they tend to stay inside in their pod apartments. Each citizen has a city-owned heart pump device strapped to their body, requiring a ticker rate subscription package that controls their every heartbeat. This is an example of one of the freaks that Butch will encounter after he wakes up from his coma in Book 2. So leave a like and follow for more character introductions from Ultra City.
The Kickstarter pre-launch for Book 2 is now live. Click the link in the description to secure your spot now. Don't miss out.
The campaign is live right now. We have 2 weeks left to go. We've already surpassed the first campaign for the first book. You can also still order the first book, by the way, on the current campaign if you missed out on that one. But yeah, when I started writing this in like 2017, I started to kind of just predict the future and see where everything was going. And again, I've explained this before, but my writing, like reality started to catch up to my writing. So I had to go full absurdism, full satirical mode. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of crazy shit that's happening in this future that I depict.
So this is, you started 7 years ago then. That was, this is volume 2. So how many episodes or comic books?
There's going to be, I plan to make a volume. There's going to be 9 books. That's the plan. But the writing, I started writing it, but the first book came out last year. Everybody got their book on time, by the way, because when I do a campaign, my book is already finished. You know, a lot of people, they do like a Kickstarter campaign and then they still have to start. No, my books are done. So you're basically pre-ordering a book and then you're going to get it as soon as the campaign is done. But yeah, it's going to be 9 books in total, and now we're on book 2. So yeah, you're still in. You can still get in early on this. Yeah, that's the trailer here. That's like the Kickstarter trailer. Should sort of explain a little bit more what the vibes of this book.
Okay, let's watch that one.
Revenge awakens in Butch Killigan 2.
Revenge. Why is he so mad? What kind of revenge? What's up with the coma?
Well, so in the first book, he encounters this strange cabal, and they have this weird eldritch substance that sends him into this weird hallucinogenic trip, and he ends up losing his pregnant wife over it. And it sends him into a coma at the end of the book. And yeah, when he wakes up, yeah, he's not too happy that they took his wife. And on top of that, his entire reality has turned into like a 24/7 gay Burning Man festival, you know?
So how long was he in a coma? Is this like in the Idiocracy, like in the future, dystopian future?
Yeah, it's sort of like Demolition Man, and Idiocracy is a really good thing but it's way worse than Idiocracy, okay? But it is like 10 for him. It's like 10 years into the future, but I'm not going to go specific. I just call it 20XX. So you can fill in the blanks. It doesn't really matter what exact year it is, but this is going to be our future if things continue in the fashion they're going right now, on the trajectory we're at.
Do you have any really religious aspects to the plot line, like some brainwashed cultist or anything in the future world?
Yes, there is. There is a lot of that stuff, but first, so look, this book is like layered. So somebody who is just there for the brutal action and revenge plot and stuff like that, they're going to get their fix. But there's a lot of different allegorical and symbolical stuff happening in the background that is going to come more and more to the foreground as we figure out what the specific plot of this story really is. And I can't get into it too much, but let's just say it's mega based. Okay.
Mega based. You mentioned a dome projecting commercials on the dome. That's kind of reminds me of Idiocracy too, how there was everything had corporate sponsors, right?
Yeah. So look, so Butch Gilligan, so there's like the whole city is covered in an ad-ridden dome that's blocking out the sun. And then, so Butch Gilligan used to be a DEA agent. And when he wakes up in this degenerated future, he's basically rendered useless because all drugs have been legalized. You can literally get drugs in vending machines like Molly's and Xanax and poppers and cocaine. They're like made into commodified products and stuff like that. But the only thing that's left unregulated is that weird compound that he encounters in the first book. So he needs to figure out what that's all about. Then he needs to figure out what happened to
or the hallucinogen.
Yeah, but it's more like I can't. How do I say this without spoiling? It's more like a foreign alien Lovecraftian type of hallucinogenic. Yes,
Okay.
and that's going to be used.
It's a designer drug, an
They're
alien
trying
designer
to
drug.
get. They're trying to get that thing commodified as well. So that is why
Mhm.
Butch is going to be hunting for the source of this eldritch substance.
Mhm.
And yeah, what they're going to try to be doing with that thing, that's something for a later chapter. But yes.
So just
It's,
imagine this type of cartoon style in a exposing the Judeo psyop cartoon, and how cool that would be.
Exactly.
Just conquering the Goyim, just Yeshua HaMashiach back for revenge. Moshiach's revenge. That's what we'll call the cartoon. Moshiach's revenge. Revenge on the Goyim.
Yes. So and again, Butch is the only cis white male left in this future. Literally, now there's going to be some white people in this, but they're all going to have like mastectomy scars, and they're on all four. There's one image. If you go to the campaign page, there's one image that shows like the double page spread. I don't know if you can go to that link.
I'll
of
go
the
there in a second.
campaign.
Let me finish this because it has the promo
right.
here at the end. This kind of has a little bit of a Street Fighter 2 vibe when I see him right there.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, that's cool.
All right. And
yeah.
I'll try to find the... You see, what sucks is every time I switch any tab on Chrome, it makes me stop sharing screen and then re-share screen.
Listen, dude, I do streams myself, and I know what a fucking hassle it is to have to take. It's like juggling while you're trying to have a conversation. So I know exactly what you're going through. Plus, you have to figure out this StreamYard shit at the same time.
Yeah. Seems to be working. And now, as Deception says, for the challenge, $5. Thank you. Pure Blood, $1 challenge for the live stream peeps, and Immortal Owl accepted as well. Thank you. All right, here's the Kickstarter page.
Yeah, so there's some example pages of the comic book that you can see if you scroll down a little bit. So yeah, that's the cover.
Sick. Oh, I wanted to ask you, what's your take on AI? Have you been messing with AI images, thinking about using AI to help you with some of your content?
So there's a couple of things. So first of all, it's funny that you mentioned it, because let me mention this first. So in the Butch Gilligan universe, all different aspects of society and the government are no longer being run by humans or a democratic process. So for instance, in the hospital, healthcare is being represented by like this cutesy bunny rabbit mascot. So if you have a problem, you need to talk to a literal cartoon. So Butch's chief of police is like a little cartoon AI dog. You know what I'm saying? Like the overseer is like religion is being represented by like this theosophical society style little ohm elephant with like a, it's like it's all religions combined in one basically. So yeah, that's kind of funny.
New age cult.
Yes, it's like a new age cult type of thing that they pray to in this thing.
Cool.
But as far as the AI question goes, like I'm not light switch brain on that. I'm not one of these lefty artists that's afraid that I'm going to lose my studio job because I'm going to be replaced by AI. Because I've been shunned by studios for a decade now. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I've already carved my own path. And here's the thing. All of these artists that have been churning out the next LGBTQ content for Disney or all these animation studios, they're fucked now because they're about to get replaced by a robot, and they're too autistic probably to talk and have some kind of an online presence, so they're basically fucked. And when it comes to AI itself, I think it's similar to when Photoshop and digital graphics editing software came out back in the day. People were really against that as well. I think it can be a very useful tool at some point. Of course, it's not black and white. If you're just sitting there typing in something, I won't consider that art, but you can use AI to make the process of creating art a lot more quick. Yeah. So I actually think for independence, it's going to be a great way to move forward, because you can make more large-scale products for cheap and more easier with less people.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like you could just like draw a couple characters, upload them into AI, write a little plot to a series, and then it just like creates the whole thing. Like with video AI creation,
Yeah.
It's really
right.
cool.
Right now, it's not quite there yet. Now, of course, I will always be drawing my own cartoons, my own characters by hand forever. Because here's the thing, too. A lot of people are going to be losing their jobs due to AI. There's going to be a lot of AI products, but people are going to be able to tell what is AI or not. And then real human art, good human art is going to be like a commodity, and it's going to be venerated more, I think.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The more people become dependent on AI too, being able to actually draw yourself will be a more rare commodity.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a page on there. If you scroll down a little bit, it's like a double page spread that shows like an image of this future. And you can see a bunch of these fucking freaks. Yeah, that one. Yeah, this one. I don't know if you can see that.
I thought I saw that. This is the photo I used. I think this is the screenshot I took. I didn't even zoom in on it and see what it was for the thumbnail. This is behind us in the thumbnail. I didn't notice the dong on that weird looking clown person.
Yeah, so this is like one of the first shots when he goes outside
Seattle,
the hospital.
2025 right here.
Yeah, so we got a Moloch sucking on a bong. There's like a huge baby in there.
Where's the bong?
Well, if
right
you look
up there
at
on
Moloch,
the top. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so yeah, you can stare at this for a couple of hours to figure out what is going on in this image. But yeah, so that is like an example of the shit that he sees that he's going to be encountering when he wakes up in this degenerate future.
Whenever I talk to, I interview or stream with like creative people, I always wonder their process. Like, how many hours a day are you drawing?
I mean, it depends. When I'm really hauling ass on like a comic book page, I'm trying to finish 2 comic book pages a day. You know what I'm saying? So that's like 16 hours, you know? And, but I'm like, I get into the zone. Like I'm like a fucking ADHD, thinking a mile a minute. So for me, when I'm drawing, everything sort of quiets down. It's like a meditative experience for me. So I just love doing it. And I'm really quick too. And especially when you come from animation, because when you have to do an animation, you basically, the first step of an animation is making a comic when you're doing like a storyboard. And then
Uh-oh.